I think that it's definitely a different period right now in this country, something that we've never seen before, with the amount of resources that are being sent on social control and preempting, getting in the way of people's civil liberties. And we knew that they had to do this when they ended social welfare in this country. They had to figure out some other way to control people, because you can't take away the only way for people to feed, clothe, and house themselves, and health care for themselves and their children, and not expect there to be a response if you don't provide them with health care or housing. And so this has been the response. The response has been to fill our streets with police officers. There's a direct correlation between the amount of people that are now, selling drugs in order to survive, and that are going to jail because at least they used to be able to rely on social welfare in order to take care of their families. But welfare in this country used to be an entitlement, and now that entitlement is gone. And it doesn't matter if you have a child that's quadriplegic, or if you've worked your whole life and you were a taxpayer. None of those things matter anymore. There's lifetime limits on benefits. If you're lucky in some states, and in other states there's no social welfare whatsoever for any period of time. So that's why you saw what you saw the other day, because you can't do that. You can't take away the only way for people to feed themselves and feed their children, and expect people not to speak out about it. And so the only way for them to keep some kind of large uprising happening in this country is to implement some very serious, initially police, and then at some point military control over the people in this country. We know the billions of dollars that are supposed to be spent on Homeland Security, that billions of dollars is really about controlling the people in this country. And that's why at this point we really need outside help. We have more people in prison than any place else in the entire world. And it's a very dangerous place to speak out these days. People used to be able to engage in marches and talk about what's happening in this country, and now what's left of our media is really under attack if they talk about what's really happening here. And our people that are involved in social movements are going to jail and not ever coming out. And they're going to jail under false charges. They're generally using things like false drug charges in this country. And so, something has to be done. But I'm also very encouraged because I know that all of us that live in this country, we love this country, we love our children, we love our families, and we're not going to let these crooks take our country away from us. And so I think that in the years to come, with some outside help, we're going to figure this thing out, and we're going to take our country back and put it back into the right direction. And I just really hope right now that in these last 8 some years or whatever, that the rest of the world really learns from what they've been seeing taking place in this country, that the American dream doesn't really exist in this country. It's really an American nightmare. And the people of the world need to make sure that they don't follow in our direction. If they follow in our direction, they'll privatize everything, and there'll be no public housing left, no right to an education, no health care. None of these things will be in existence. And when I've traveled to other parts of the world, I think people have no idea how lucky they are to have these things. We have to live in daily fear of being incarcerated and separated from our children, just to fight for basic things like a right for them to have health care and a roof over their heads. And that's not a way to live your life.